as you'll notice that my selection of pot is actually a bag. I'll show it to you. BioFlower, Bio365 actually has these pre-made bags. They come already pre-filled. And so for us here at the farm, that was one of Farm Manager River's main duties is, filling up bags. And it's a pain in the ass. It takes a long time, especially when you've got a lot of plants. The main reason that I switched over to these bags, the pre-filled bags, is for that reason. An ancillary and secondary kind of benefit that we ended up seeing is that, get out of there. Another ancillary benefit that we see is here where we are, even in this room that's closed off and sealed most of the time, it's the
20 gallons.
What the hell was I saying? God dang it, y'all gotta stop messaging me because it puts me off track. The plastic pots. The main reason that we do that an ancillary benefit was the humidity here is very, 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 very low. I mean, it could be 10% most of the time. In this little sealed room, it's like 25%. Okay, if I don't have the humidifier on, and so our pots would dry out really, really, really fast. And I was looking for a little bit more soil and moisture retention, and that's exactly what a hard plastic or a soft plastic non-permeable container will do. Okay, that's what's going to drive your pot selection, your container selection, is your ambient inputs. It's going to be your temperature, your humidity, your airflow, your wind, those kind of things. If you're in a place where you can control your moisture, if let's say you're in a place that's super moist, one of the things that you may want is a bag that actually doesn't keep that moisture all the way in it all the time. Okay, for me here, I want that moisture because it gets naturally sucked out of the plant due to a low humidity environment. Okay. I'm not currently growing any strains in hydro, not currently. That's what I grew in deep water culture and came up with a max O2 concept that's being used by a lot of folks here today, but I just don't currently grow in deep water culture, no. Inputs and the different environmental conditions are going to determine what pot is best for you. If you're in a place that's really damp and doesn't have a lot of airflow, you're going to want a fabric pot that actually does, through the process of osmosis, actually that fabric, it's a permeable membrane that allows the moisture to get sucked and wicked out to the outside and then evaporated. Okay, for us here, that happens way too fast just because we have a low humidity environment. Okay, another example is, let's say that you're growing outside, say on your porch or something like that. If you get a black hard plastic, container that, especially in places in the South and even places pretty much anywhere in America in the summer, if you put a black pot outside, a black container outside, it's going to do damage to the roots because it's going to heat that root zone up tremendously. Okay, and it can invite soil-borne infestations of bacteria and fungus and all kinds of stuff that you don't want. All right. So when you're thinking about choosing your container and what kind of container is best for you, that you want to take a look at your your environmental inputs and what kind of conditions, specifically relative to how fast those pots dry out. I would recommend that you do a test run, that a lot of folks, a lot of us want to have a knee-jerk reaction, be like, I want to grow, here we go, get the stuff, put it in. And then we have to learn on the fly, and that's why a lot of folks have experienced such a steep learning curve, is that you don't have really an experience or any kind of trial or error, that we have to do this, a lot of this stuff while we're learning it. The best way to learn how to grow cannabis is to grow cannabis, and there are things that that are such minute details and such little things that have such a dramatic impact on the outcome that it's hard for anybody, even like me, to be able to say, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, because there are scenarios that come up when you're growing that you have to bob and weave and you have to go with the flow, and all that kind of stuff.